Good morning, folks. So this is Chuck Mott here, and I'm happy to say, kind of happy to say, that I just purchased this Boss RC 500 looper, and what I wanted to do with it, besides creating my own loops, a lot of what I wanted it for um, was to store my pre-existing song loops on here. I've got about 40 about 50 songs set up for a solo act that I've been working on for a while. Got my parts all worked out and everything, but I wanted to get those into the looper so that I could go ahead and play those back. And so I went ahead and grabbed my files from. I buy my files from a place called Karaoke Versions. So if you're creating your files from scratch, it's maybe a little bit easier to kind of format this stuff ahead of time, but those are in MP3 format. Um, and the first thing that you'll notice if you try to load MP3s into your RC500 is that it does not accept MP3 format, um, which means that you're going to have to convert your files. Anything that's not a 44.1 32-bit um, stereo wave file, a 32-bit floating, it says, is not going to work. You're going to need to convert your files before you bring those over into the RC500. So first of all, you're going to need to convert your files using whatever program you need to do that. I'll tell you, one of the things that I discovered also is that not all programs do an acceptable job to the RC500, and converting your format, converting your files. What I use to convert my files is to bounce them out of Logic. So I bring my MP3s into Logic. I'd go and bounce and set the parameters up to be, that format 44.1 32-bit floating stereo. Then bounce them to my desktop, and then drag them over into my RC500. Now, I say drag them over because one of the ways that it tells you that you can do this, and I just found it finicky, and I won't go into the reasons why I say that is finicky. But it looks like that you can do that by going in and using this import button here to import your tracks in. And again, found that finicky. What I found was the better way to do this was to, when you connect your RC500 using the USB to run it into the computer right there, like I've done. I've actually got it attached to a USB port, so or a USB hub. So I did it that way. But you will see this. You will see this drive show up somewhere on your computer anyway. It's this little guy right here, and you'll see that show up on your computer. And then what you are going to want to do is you're going to convert your files. You're going to keep them in a folder, and then you're going to find the Roland folder on your computer, the Roland drive. Open it up. Let me back that up here a second. You're going to just see Roland, right? But you open it up, and you'll see a data and a wave. And if you open up a wave, you'll see all your slots right here. So 001/1 is track 1, memory slot 1, track 1. And I just kind of put all these in. So the next memory slot is 02, but you're still on track 1, 03, track 1, 04, track 1, right? Because I wanted to put all mine on onto track 1 for playback. So, and it's I wish this was a little bit clearer, but anyway, you'll see those slots on there, and then you can just drag your files over into those once they're converted. And that's kind of it. That's the short version of this, and I'm not even sure I'm recording, am I? I guess I am. Okay. I did. Okay, never mind. So yeah, I had to drag them over in that way. So first of all, what you want to do, convert your files to 44:1 stereo files, 32-bit um, stereo files, and then drag them into these memory slots like that, and then you should be good to go. The other thing that you want to be aware of is when you when you drag these files in, watch your volume when you go ahead and play with the volume knob a little bit, because your files are really freaking loud. I don't know why that is like such a thing. I mean, it's dangerous to people's like equipment to not kind of give them a warning ahead of time that your files are going to potentially blow out your speakers or do something like that. Like I've got these big old this EV 15-inch powered speakers in there, and I pushed play, and about just and really distorted, really loud. On cheaper speakers, I'd be worried that I'd be like really just kind of blowing out my speakers on that. Again, that's another little quirk. You can go in and into your settings and set your default levels, which are by default at 100. I ended up changing mine over to a level of 10 for all my tracks. So you got to kind of manually go in there and change that default level to something acceptable for you. And once you have that in there, you should be able to just to go ahead and play those back. So that's it. That's my quickie version. And let me go through the steps once real quick. Okay, if they're not already your files, you're going to need to find a conversion program to change them over to 44:1 32-bit stereo wave files. On the Mac, I use Logic. I'd imagine GarageBand works okay. For whatever reason, I downloaded Switch and could not get it to work acceptably to convert these things into the right format for the RC500. So I really found that Logic was the only thing that worked for me. I didn't try GarageBand. I did try Switch. Didn't work. Tried doing that in iTunes, and for whatever reason, I couldn't get that to work anyway. Operator error, possibly, but I kind of tend not to think so. So find a program that'll convert your files on onto your desktop using like, for example, GarageBand or Logic on a Mac, and then you'll have then you should be able to find your WAV files on your computer, and then drag them into find your Roland here, your Roland drive. You'll see that little square. In this case, it's you'll see it there, but it'll say Roland RC500 on it. You click on that. You click on Roland. You click on Wave, and you'll see all your spots here, all your slots, and then you can drag them into those manually. So 001-1 is track 1 on memory slot 1. 002 -1 is again memory slot 2, but it's still on track 1, and so on. And that's about it. And this is not a knock on the Boss RC500, but you also have to kind of like manually go ahead and change those tracks for playback. So you have to like literally reach down and let me go ahead and, now that I showed you guys this, eject this. So you'll have to I'm going to give this a minute to eject. So I can't you can't really see it on here, but anyway, you're gonna need to go ahead and change these slots by changing the tracks by the memory button there. And yeah, that's about it. I'm trying to think of what else, but that's essentially it. I hope this was helpful to people, at least as far as getting them started loading your pre-existing backing tracks into the RC500 for playback. And as I discover more things about this, I think I want to do some more tutorials on using the RC500. You'll notice, like, see my slots on here? See how low those are? I mean, that's how low they were. The volume slots are when I tried to play my tracks back, and it still kind of blew out my speakers, because these things don't necessarily mean anything, because they're still, and when the tracks are configured to play back at 100 no matter what. So you're going to have to go in and literally change those settings. That's also important, I think, to get it even really usable, to do it that way. So, but yeah, that's about it. I hope that's helpful. Um, as I discover more, I'll kind of let people know. I'm really kind of interested in digging in and getting to use this thing, because it's a great looper, but it does have its quirks as far as like loading in pre-existing tracks. But so far, I'm really looking forward to working with it. So hope that helps. Feel free to subscribe to my channel. Leave questions if you want to, and I will do my best to answer those. And subscribe to my channel, and we'll talk to you guys soon. All right, thanks. Bye-bye.